Hey guys, it's Lori. Communicating. Communicating is probably the most important part of a relationship. And I talk to people every day about relationships and about, some people claim that they're just unhappy, that maybe the other person um, doesn't feel a certain way, or that they're not getting what they expect or believe that they deserve from the other person. And then when we talk about it, and sometimes I do couples things or whatever, and I'm not just talking about um, romantic relationships or marriages. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about work relationships. I'm talking about relationships in general. Communication, it plays a big role because, first of all, people don't all think the same. I mean, we're all basically the same. I mean, we all have a body and a mind and a spirit, but not everybody thinks the same. We all come from different worlds. We all come from different backgrounds. And what I find a lot when there's miscommunications, when you break it down, many times, I'm not going to say every time, but many times, it's because one or both are so focused on what they're thinking and how they think that they project that onto the other person, and they don't even give it a second thought that they may be miscommunicating. I know I've done other videos about communication, but one thing I was thinking about yesterday, I have met some people that are extremely observant, and I myself, I don't know if I'm observant, so to speak, maybe, but I know that I pay attention. And I have come to realize that many people don't. That's a big part of communication. Listening is a lost art, or a lost skill, I should say. Many people don't listen. They're so, well, first of all, we live in a fast-paced world. Everybody's in a rush to go somewhere, to do something, especially I'm in New England, everybody's rushing around. But it's not just New England. I see it everywhere. People are, so first of all, they're busy, and if they're not doing something, you're sitting down eating dinner and your mind is on what you're going to do tomorrow morning, or what's going to happen next week, or whatever. So one thing to do is stay in the moment. Okay, stay right where you are, even if you've got a million things that you need to do. That goes back, I can do another video on that, to organization. If you're organized and you need a break, we all need a break. So if your mind is constantly focused on what's next, you're not going to be able to pay attention to the here and now. Your communication is going to go down it's going to go, and you're going to lose relationships that might be very valuable, and maybe you're supposed to not lose, that you're supposed to be in. I know that it's extremely painful when you feel like you're not being heard. So if one person in the relationship, or both, feels like they're not being heard, people shut down. They just stop. And I've noticed this like in everyday life with friends. Have you ever been talking to someone and you're talking away, and they either say, "Oh yeah, that happened to me. I know about that," and they don't let you tell your story because they go right into theirs. Or maybe you tell somebody something that you think is very important, and they go, "Oh, excuse me, I was thinking about something else, or I didn't hear you." Or you start a story and you're talking, and then that person um, says, "And what is this about?" As you're talking. So you know that they haven't listened to at least the first part of your story, so they're probably not going to listen to the rest. What about observations, like of people around you? Have you ever been upset and nobody notices? When you're in relationship with somebody, I'm not saying you should read their mind, and please don't ever expect the person in the relationship to read your mind, because that's another thing that people make a mistake with. Well, he or she should have known how I was feeling. But especially if you know the person, you should know them well enough to know that they're acting different. Maybe they're quiet when they're not normally quiet. I know I've sat in front of people and cried and nobody's noticed. Another thing is driving, think about this. If you put on spiritual eyes, ask God for 24 hours to have you put on spiritual eyes. And I think you'll notice things a little bit different. You know what I noticed lately is, like, say people are driving, right? And you're driving along, and maybe the person in front of you is going slower than you would like, or whatever, or maybe the person next to you is not driving the way you want, or whatever. I I have a friend who constantly, you get her behind the wheel, and that's it. Don't even expect to talk to her, because she's going to be worried about what everybody else on the road is doing, and bitching about that or whatever. I remember one time we were driving and he came into her lane a little bit, and not a lot. I mean, it wasn't dangerous, but she beeped the horn, and I looked over at him, and she's still yelling and calling him names. And it was a young boy. He looked like he might have, I don't know. He was young. Maybe he just got his license. Maybe he was upset about something. I don't know. But the look on his face, it still sticks with me. That happened several weeks ago, and it still sticks with me because I know that she not only terrified him, he had both hands on the wheel. Um, he looked terrified. He looked sad. I thought, oh gosh, I hope he makes it home, because he looked like I don't know. We were on the highway. He couldn't just pull over. But I think about that, and then I don't know. Observe, pay attention, ask the Lord to put on spiritual eyes for 24 hours and see what happens. You're going to see things differently. You're going to see that everybody has a story. I hear things about, people that it kills me, people that have fallen on hard times. And the world is, well, the society in general doesn't cut them any slack. I mean, the lower you go, the harder it is to get up. Do you know that I would say 99% of the people that can't get back up, it's because they don't have people in their lives to help them? And society in general looks at them and says, well, you're there for a reason. Well, maybe you screwed up, maybe you did this, maybe you did that. Or maybe you're just alone. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you lost everything you had and nobody understands. I think if we could all, just for even for 24 hours, step back, get outside of ourselves for 1 second. It's like everybody's in their own bubble, and nobody wants to look outside of that bubble. Nobody wants to help other people. And you know what kills me is those that profess to be Christian or spiritual or close to God, and they still act like that. I wonder how Jesus would feel if he walked on this earth today. How would Jesus feel if he came to your neighborhood and knocked on your door? Would he be okay with how you're treating people? Just something to think about. For one day, for 24 hours, put on the eyes of Jesus. Start listening to people when they talk to you. And I'm not just talking about your husband or wife, like I said, friends, co-workers, um, people just that you run into every day at the coffee shop, at the grocery store, at Walmart, or I noticed that some people treat people by what they do. Like, oh, this person works at a fast food restaurant. Well, they're no good. Or credit scores are the worst things that ever were invented. Yeah, somebody might have a great credit score, then he or she gets divorced, and the spouse just goes ballistic and runs up all these credit cards or whatever, and there goes your credit. But will the world give you a chance? No. They look at your credit score and boom, done. Or maybe they see you working in a certain place and they go, what? Maybe that person's college educated, and these days, I'm sorry, but your college education isn't worth a whole lot. Used to be a time when not everybody went to college. And if you did go to college, you went to college because you really wanted something. And those people were in their position because they worked hard to get there. But everybody mattered. The guy at the garage mattered. He didn't need a degree to become a mechanic, by the way, but he was really good at what he did. And that's what it was. People took pride in what they did, regardless if it was a doctor or if it was the guy at the dump. And nowadays, we don't treat people that way. I know I started this as a communication thing, but it really goes a lot deeper than that. People treat people like crap in general. And you know why? It's because not you all, we all as a society are focused on me, my family, my friends, my job, and that's it. We don't go, never mind go across the world, we don't go across the street to care about what people are doing or what they're saying. And especially when something's wrong, oh, you're going through a hard time. Oh, yeah, I can't talk to you right now. It's all about me. Believe me, I hear this all the time. I honestly, being a life coach, I deal with people's issues, and this is what I choose to do, and I love helping people. So many times when somebody comes to me, whether it just be for a session or if they've really hit a hard time because of the other things I do, maybe they have a missing person, maybe they have an unsolved crime, maybe they're caught up in a domestic situation, or they've just been raped, or they're living in poverty, living on the street. First of all, I don't judge them, okay? And I understand when they're ruffled and they're all about them, you know? But how many people are all about them every day, all day? I hear people going through really horrendous stuff, and then some people, because they're so caught up in their own little bubble, the smallest little thing just sets them over the edge. I didn't mean this to be a bitchin' video. I'm really disgusted by all of this. If I could go live somewhere with like-minded people and, we could all help each other and that sort of thing, that would be great. But I know we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to live in the world. Just for 24 hours, do me a favor and do these things for 24 hours and tell me how life changes, how your mindset changes. First of all, actually listen to people when they talk to you. Listen to people all day long, from the smallest interaction at the store, at the coffee shop, whatever, to the most important personal interactions with your boss, with your husband or wife, or with your children, or with your best friend, or whatever. Really listen. Don't speak until you've listened. Don't give your opinion unless it's asked for. So 1, listen. Number 2, don't give your opinion unless it's asked for. Number 3, don't look with judgment. Just listen open-mindedly. I bet you that will, if you could learn to do that, that'll eliminate at least 50% of communication problems. Okay? Number 4, when you're listening, find something that you can focus on. Don't do anything unless it's what the person needs. And if you're listening, you will hear what the person needs. Don't assume that you know better. Because if you assume that you know what the person needs and immediately offer that, you are being critical, judging them, and maybe it's not what they need. And maybe you've just made them feel worse. Okay? So do those 4 things. Oh, let's make it number 5. Reach out. Make it for the next 24 hours. Let's say 5 things. Purposely seek out 5 people or 5 things to do to help people. Even if you're down and out. 5 things in 24 hours. That's not a lot. It could be small things. It could be, making somebody a sandwich. It could be giving somebody a call that you wouldn't normally do. It could be anything small. It could be buying the guy's coffee behind you in line. You know what? And I'm going to say this even though I believe we're not supposed to, because we're supposed to do good deeds without telling anybody about it. In fact, we're supposed to forget about it ourselves. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. It's like basically just go do these good deeds and forget about them. Don't build yourself up and puff yourself up. You are so wonderful. And don't tell other people about them. But I'm telling you just for the purpose of this video. I always pay the person behind me's toll. Always. It's just a habit. It's become a habit now. It takes 21 days to make a habit. So it's become a habit. I started doing it, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. and I haven't stopped. And it's funny because, like, say the toll is $1, I always look for $2, or say that the toll is $5, I always look for 10. It's just a habit. I always double it. More Many times I'll, in a coffee, me and my coffee, I get coffee every day. I'll just buy the person randomly behind me's. If you're in the drive-thru, you can do that, or something like that. And again, I'm not puffing myself up. It's no big deal. Like I said, it's become a habit. But you know what I always thought? The reason I started doing it is because what if that person is praying or thinking that life doesn't matter, nobody cares, whatever, or this world is full of evil people, which they would be correct, or an evil system, I should say. Good people caught up in an evil system. And all of a sudden somebody pays, like a simple little thing, somebody pays their toll, somebody buys their coffee, I don't know, something like that. Somebody does, I don't know, a kind word from a stranger. They could take that as their sign that God is listening. So be somebody's angel. 5 things in 24 hours. And let's see if that changes your mindset at all. I'll be back. I will see you in the next video, guys.
Hi guys, it's Lori. Would you agree with me if I said that small business, self-employed, are hardworking, make this world go around, make this country great? Do you remember small town USA? I do. Before big corporations were taking over everything. You know, when you buy from a small business or a self-employed person, you're not only buying the products that you want, but you're helping that kid get a bicycle, or maybe put a kid through college, or pay the electric bill or the mortgage, you know? But also, your person is going to stand behind that product or that service, because you can talk to them directly. You know the owner, or at least the CEO, right? Let's support small business. Right here in Light Insights community, we have several self-employed small business owners, even direct sales consultants. Why don't we stick together, work within our community, and then maybe we can network and make it even bigger? All of us being successful, if we help build one person up, that helps all of us. We'll each build each other up. What do you think? I think it's a good idea, and I would like to advocate for each and every one of you. You guys are family to me. I really care about you guys, and I want to see each and every one of you exceed what you thought were your limitations. You know, I want to see each of us be successful, not only business-wise, but in every aspect. Well, let me tell you today about Julie. If you're looking to buy or sell a home or a piece of property in New Hampshire, Julie.jasys is a real estate agent, and I know her personally, and I know that she has integrity, and I see her work for her clients, and she works crazy hours. She does whatever it takes to make those clients happy. So whether you're buying or selling, as long as it's in New Hampshire, why don't you give Julie a call or shoot her an email? You can reach her at julie.jasys@verani.com. That's JULIE.JASYS at Verani, VERAIANI.com. Julie.jasys@verani.com. I'm telling you, you won't be sorry. All right, take care, guys. Have a good day. Hey, if you want me to talk about your small business, maybe I don't know about it yet, give me a call, shoot me a message. All right, talk to you soon.